Happy Wednesday, everyone. I am going to continue on reading on Carl Rogers on Becoming a Person, a Therapist's View of Psychotherapy. Yesterday we left off, we started reading about some significant learnings on page 15 and ended on the middle of page 18. So I am going to continue from there and go a few more pages in the other significant learnings that he brings up. I come now to a central learning which has a great deal of significance for me. I can state this learning as follows. I have found it of enormous value when I can permit myself to understand another person. The way in which I have worded this statement may be strange to you. It is necessary to permit oneself to understand. Is it necessary to permit oneself to understand another? I think that it is. Our first reaction to most of the statements which we hear from other people is an immediate evaluation or judgment, rather than an understanding of it. When someone expresses some feeling or attitude or belief, our tendency is almost immediately to feel that's right or that's stupid, that's abnormal, that's unreasonable, that's correct, that's not nice. Very rarely do we permit ourselves to understand precisely what that meaning of the statement is to him. I believe this is because understanding is risky. If I let myself really understand another person, I might be changed by that understanding. And we all fear change. So as I say, it is not an easy thing to permit oneself to understand an individual, to enter thoroughly and completely and empathically into his frame of reference. It is also a rare thing. To understand is enriching in a double way. I find when I am working with clients in distress that to understand the bizarre world of a psychotic individual, or to understand and sense the attitudes of a person who feels that life is too tragic to bear, or to understand a man who feels that he is a worthless and inferior individual. Each of these understandings somehow enriches me. I learn from these experiences in ways that change me, that make me a different, and I think, a more responsive person. Even more important, perhaps, is the fact that my understanding of these individuals permits them to change. It permits them to accept their own fears and bizarre thoughts and tragic feelings and discouragements, as well as their moments of courage and kindness and love and sensitivity. And it is their experience as well as mine that when someone fully understands those feelings, it enables them to accept those feelings in themselves. Then they find both the feelings and themselves changing. Whether it is understanding a woman who feels that very literally she has had a hook in her head by which others lead her about, or understanding a man who feels that no one is as lonely and no one is as separated from others as he, I find these understandings to be of value to me, but also, even more importantly, to be understood as a very positive value to these individuals. Here is another learning which has had importance for me. I have found it enriching to open channels whereby others can communicate their feelings, their private perceptual worlds to me. Because understanding is rewarding, I would like to reduce the barriers between others and me so they can, if they wish, reveal themselves more fully. In the therapeutic relationship, there are a number of ways by which I can make it easier for the client to communicate himself. I can, by my own attitudes, create safety in the relationship, which makes such communication more possible. A sensitiveness of understanding which sees him as he is to himself and accepts him as having those perceptions and feelings helps too. But as a teacher also, I have found that I am enriched when I can open channels through which others can share themselves with me. So I try, often not too successfully, to create a climate in the classroom where feelings can be expressed, where people can differ, with each other, and with the instructor. I have also frequently asked for reaction sheets from students in which they can express themselves individually and personally regarding the course. They can tell of the way it is or is not meeting their needs. They can express their feelings regarding the instructor, or can tell of the personal difficulties they're having in reaction to the course. These reaction sheets have no relation whatsoever to their grade. Sometimes the same sessions of a course are experienced in diametrically opposite ways. One student says, "My feeling is one of indefinable revulsion with the tone of this class." Another, a foreign student speaking of the same week of the same course, says, "Our class follows the best, fruitful, and scientific way of learning. But for people who have been taught for a long, long time, as we have, by lecture-type authoritative method, this new procedure is ununderstandable. People like us are conditioned to hear the instructor or to keep passively our notes and memorize his reading assignments for the exams. There is no need to say that it takes long time for people to get rid of their habits, regardless of whether or not their habits are sterile, infertile, and barren. To open myself to these sharply different feelings has been a deeply rewarding thing. I have found the same thing true in groups where I am the administrator or perceived as the leader. I wish to reduce the need for fear or defensiveness so that people can communicate their feelings freely. This has been most exciting and has led me to a whole new view of what administration can be, but I cannot expand on that here. There is another very important learning which has come to me in my counseling work. I can voice this learning very briefly. I have found it highly rewarding when I can accept another person. I have found that truly to accept another person and his feelings is by no means an easy thing, any more than understanding is. Can I really permit another person to feel hostile toward me? Can I accept his anger as real and legitimate part of himself? Can I accept him when he views life and its problems in a way quite different from mine? Can I accept him when he feels very positively towards me, admiring me, and wanting to model himself after me? All this is involved in acceptance, and it does not come easy. I believe it is an increasingly common pattern in our culture for each one of us to believe every other person must feel and think and believe the same as I do. We find it very hard to permit our children or our parents or our spouses to feel differently than we do about particular issues or problems. We cannot permit our clients or our students to differ from us or to utilize their experience in their own individual ways. On a national scale, we cannot permit another nation to think or feel differently than we do. Yet it has come to seem to me that this separateness of individuals, the right of each individual to utilize his experience in his own way and to discover his own meanings in it, this is one of the most priceless potentialities of life. Each person is an island unto himself. In a very real sense, and he can only build bridges to other islands if he first of all is willing to be himself and permitted to be himself. So I find that when I can accept another person, which means specifically accepting the feelings and attitudes and belief that he has as real and vital parts of him, then I am assisting him to become a person. And there seems to me to be great value in this. So end of reading today. I look forward to continuing on with other significant learnings tomorrow, and have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday.